The WWE universe is buzzing right now, and for good reason, because everything we thought we knew about certain superstars is being turned completely upside down. Alexa Bliss is making a transformation that nobody saw coming. Randy Orton just dropped news that his fans losing their minds, and Stephanie McMahon is stepping into a situation that could change the entire landscape of professional wrestling. If you want to stay updated on all the shocking twists happening in WWE right now, make sure you hit that subscribe button because you won't want to miss what's coming next. Alexa Bliss has been through one of the most dramatic character evolutions in recent WWE history, and just when everyone thought they had her figured out, she's throwing us all for a loop. The relationship between Bliss and Charlotte Flair was something that developed over time and seemed like it could be a partnership that would dominate the women's division for years to come. These two powerhouses were working together, strategizing together, and it looked like they had formed an alliance that would be nearly impossible to break. Charlotte brought her legacy and championship pedigree, while Alexa brought her cunning mind and ability to get inside anyone's head. But something happened that changed everything. The breakup between Alexa and Charlotte wasn't just a simple parting of ways or a mutual decision to go in different directions. This was a full-blown explosion that sent shockwaves through the locker room and had everyone talking about what could have possibly gone wrong between two superstars who seemed so aligned. The tension had been building for weeks, with subtle hints here and there that things weren't as perfect as they appeared on the surface. There were moments during matches where communication seemed off, and times when one would celebrate a victory while the other stood in the background with a look that suggested something deeper was brewing. The actual split happened in a way that nobody could have predicted. During a crucial tag team match that could have propelled both women to the top of the division, things fell apart in spectacular fashion. Charlotte appeared to accidentally cost Alexa the match, but anyone watching closely could see there was nothing accidental about it. The look in Charlotte's eyes told a different story, and Alexa knew immediately that she had been betrayed. What followed was a confrontation backstage that sources say got heated very quickly, with both women making it clear that their partnership was over and there was no going back. Now Alexa Bliss is returning to the version of herself that made her one of the most feared and unpredictable competitors in WWE history. The twisted, psychological mastermind who could manipulate anyone and everyone is coming back, and she's doing it with a vengeance. Fans who remember the days when Alexa would play mind games with her opponents and create an atmosphere of pure chaos are about to see that side of her again, but this time it's going to be even more intense because she has a very specific target in mind. Charlotte Flair broke her trust, and in Alexa's world, that's something that cannot and will not be forgiven. The transformation is already starting to show in everything Alexa does. Her entrance has changed, with darker music and lighting that creates an eerie atmosphere the moment she walks out. Her in-ring style is becoming more aggressive and less about the technical wrestling and more about sending a message to anyone who crosses her path. The promos she's been cutting have that edge that made her so compelling in the first place, with words that cut deep and leave her opponents questioning everything about themselves. She's not just wrestling matches anymore, she's waging psychological warfare, and Charlotte is about to find out what it's like to be on the receiving end of Alexa's wrath. What makes this situation even more interesting is that Alexa isn't going after Charlotte in the typical way you might expect. She's not calling her out every week or demanding matches at every pay-per-view. Instead, she's being calculated and methodical about her approach. She's getting into Charlotte's head by targeting the things Charlotte cares about most, whether that's her championship aspirations, her relationships with other superstars, or her family legacy. Alexa knows exactly which buttons to push, and she's pushing all of them with surgical precision. This isn't just about revenge, it's about completely dismantling everything Charlotte has built and making her regret the day she ever decided to betray their partnership. The women's division is being turned completely upside down by this feud because everyone is being forced to pick a side. Some superstars are supporting Charlotte because of her track record and her family's legacy in the business. Others are siding with Alexa because they understand the pain of betrayal and they respect her willingness to fight back against someone as powerful as Charlotte Flair. Then there are those who are staying neutral and just watching from a distance because they know that getting involved in this situation could be dangerous for their own careers. The entire locker room dynamic has shifted, and it's creating opportunities for other superstars to rise while these two are focused on destroying each other. Randy Orton has been relatively quiet in recent months, which is unusual for someone who has been such a dominant force in WWE for over 2 decades. When Randy goes quiet, it usually means he's planning something big or dealing with something serious behind the scenes. The announcement he just made has confirmed that it was indeed something major, and fans are having mixed reactions to the news. Randy revealed that he's been dealing with an injury that's more serious than anyone knew, and he's had to make some difficult decisions about his future in professional wrestling. The injury occurred during a match several weeks ago, but Randy, being Randy, decided to work through the pain and continue performing because that's what he's always done throughout his entire career. The doctors have finally convinced him that he needs to take time off to properly heal and undergo treatment that will give him the best chance of returning to full strength. Randy made it clear in his announcement that this is not a retirement and he has every intention of coming back to WWE, but he needs to put his health first for once in his life. He talked about how difficult this decision was because wrestling is all he's known since he was a young man, following in his father's and grandfather's footsteps. The legacy of the Orton family in professional wrestling is something Randy takes incredibly seriously, and the thought of stepping away even temporarily goes against everything he believes in. What Randy also revealed in his announcement has fans even more excited about his eventual return. He's not just going to come back and pick up where he left off with the same character and the same approach to wrestling. Randy is planning a complete reinvention of himself when he returns. He talked about how he's been the Viper, the Legend Killer, and every variation of Randy Orton that fans have seen over the years, but when he comes back he wants to show a side of himself that nobody has seen before. He's been studying the current roster and paying attention to how the business has evolved, and he believes there's still room for him to make an impact in a new and different way. The announcement also included some specific names that Randy called out as superstars he wants to work with when he returns. These aren't the veterans or the established main eventers that you might expect. Randy specifically mentioned younger talent who he believes are the future of WWE, and he wants to help elevate them to the next level. He talked about how much he's learned from veterans throughout his career and how they helped shape him into the performer he became, and now he wants to pay that forward to the next generation. This selfless approach from Randy Orton is surprising to many fans who remember him as someone who was primarily focused on his own success and championship reigns. The reaction from other WWE superstars to Randy's announcement has been overwhelmingly positive. Wrestlers from all different eras have taken to social media to wish him well and express their respect for how he's handling this situation. Some of the younger talent he mentioned have responded with excitement about the possibility of working with him when he returns. The entire WWE roster seems to understand that when Randy Orton comes back, it's going to be a big deal, and everyone wants to be part of whatever he has planned for his next chapter. The anticipation is already building, even though his return could still be several months away. Stephanie McMahon stepping back into a more active role in WWE has been one of the most talked about developments in recent weeks. After taking time away to focus on other ventures and family matters, Stephanie is returning with a mission to shake things up and address some issues that have been plaguing the company. Her return isn't just ceremonial or for the occasional appearance. She's getting deeply involved in storylines and making decisions that are going to affect superstars across both brands. The authority figure role is something Stephanie has always excelled at because she knows how to be both a character on television and a legitimate executive making real business decisions behind the scenes. The specific situation Stephanie is walking into involves a major dispute between several top superstars and management about creative direction and how certain storylines are being handled. There's been growing frustration among some of the roster about feeling like their voices aren't being heard and their ideas for their characters are being ignored. Stephanie has positioned herself as someone who wants to bridge that gap and create better communication between the talent and the people making creative decisions. She's been holding meetings with individual superstars and listening to their concerns while also explaining the business side of things and why certain decisions get made the way they do. What makes Stephanie's involvement so interesting is that she's not just taking management's side in every situation. There have been instances where she's agreed with the talent and pushed back against creative decisions that she felt weren't serving the superstars or the fans properly. This balanced approach is earning her respect from wrestlers who might have been skeptical about her return. She's showing that she genuinely cares about making WWE the best product it can be, and that means sometimes going against the grain and challenging the status quo even when it's uncomfortable. One of the major storylines Stephanie is directly involved in centers around a championship picture that has become incredibly complicated. Multiple superstars have legitimate claims to title shots, and there's been confusion about who deserves opportunities and when they should get them. Stephanie has announced that she's implementing a new system that will make things more transparent and give fans a better understanding of how title contenders are determined. This includes bringing back elements of rankings and win-loss records that will actually matter when it comes to earning championship matches. The old system of just randomly announcing number one contenders is being replaced with something that has more structure and logic behind it. The talent is responding positively to these changes because it gives them clear goals to work toward, and it rewards consistent performance rather than just whoever management wants to push at any given moment. Fans are also excited because it adds a sports element to the product that makes matches feel more meaningful. When every win and loss actually counts towards something tangible, the stakes are raised and people become more invested in the outcomes. Stephanie is betting that this approach will create better storylines organically because superstars will be fighting for position rather than just fighting because they were told to have a match. Behind the scenes, Stephanie is also working on improving conditions for the wrestlers and making sure they have the resources they need to succeed. This includes everything from better training facilities to more comprehensive health coverage to mental health support for performers who are dealing with the pressures of life on the road. These aren't things that get talked about on television, but they matter tremendously to the people who work for WWE, and Stephanie understands that taking care of the talent is what allows them to go out and perform at their best every single night. The combination of all these storylines happening simultaneously is creating one of the most exciting periods in recent WWE history. Alexa Bliss returning to her darker persona and going after Charlotte Flair with everything she has, Randy Orton preparing for a reinvention that could define the final chapter of his legendary career, and Stephanie McMahon making structural changes that could improve WWE from top to bottom. These aren't isolated incidents, they're all connected to a larger shift happening within the company where things are being done differently and the status quo is being challenged in ways both big and small. The wrestling world is watching closely to see how all of this plays out over the coming weeks and months. Every episode of Raw and SmackDown feels important right now because you never know when the next major development is going to happen. Alexa could strike at Charlotte at any moment, Randy could show up with an update on his recovery and return timeline, and Stephanie could announce another major change to how WWE operates. The unpredictability is what makes this so compelling and why fans are tuning in consistently to see what happens next. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you don't miss any updates on these developing stories because things are changing rapidly and you'll want to stay informed on everything happening in the world of WWE.